Alright, mental control, something that funnels our mind, distracts us from reality, I think, is time. Time because what is time? It's a clock. It's a series of digits repeating themselves in an endless series. But that's not what time is, really. That's like one way of describing time. But how do we experience time though? We don't experience time as a quantity of something. Time is more of a quality, but it's an ever-present quality. It's always here with us. It's always now. But I have a memory, and I have a mind that can predict. So I have these concepts, past and future. Um, but sometimes, in and of themselves, these concepts aren't bad, but when we start getting stuck into this loop of thinking, I'm not going to start my life today, I'll start it tomorrow. Or, I'm not going to do what I need to do, what I want to do, what I feel I should do now. I'm going to wait until I'm ready. As if you're ever going to be ready if you keep on delaying and running from the inevitable decision, the moment of decision. There's only moments of decision when we get so self-reflective and caught up into the quantized, um, compartmentalized idea of time as past, present, and future. It's only when we do that we are faced with having to make decisions. Because, outside of this categorization and this discrimination between these discrete aspects of time, um, there is no person who decides anything. Um, because it's really always the present. So every time I think I make a decision, that idea of having made a decision is only valid in terms of its application to this description of time as a system of measurement. Because otherwise, when do I gauge when the decision was made? Because in the experiential sense of time, the way I actually experience it as the conscious being in the world who supposedly thinks and makes decisions, there is no separation between any one moment and the next. There's a memory, sure, but there's no time when it stops being now, where I could say that I made a decision back then. Where was it? What do you mean then? Where? You made a decision, and the decision is still occurring. So you can't. A decision can't be occurring in this ever-present nowness, because then it's a decision as a verb, and then it's deciding. There's only deciding, a constant deciding, and there's never a firm decision made on anything. Because it's like, we could start talking about cause and effect now, but I don't even want to get into that. Just the idea, why does time control our minds? We get stuck in these habitual rhythms of experience, and we forget that the way the day, like one day, is. It's really late right now. I'm gonna go to bed soon. I'm gonna wake up really early. I got a Spanish test tomorrow, and we all take it for granted that the sun is gonna rise, and it's gonna just go about its business. There's no decision to be made up there, right? It's just time and space are one for the clockwork of the universe. There's no separate sense of control in any individual planet or in the sun or anything like that. It's all, it's all a machine. No one individual part gets to have a free will or anything. But then there's us people on one of these planets orbiting around in a predictable pattern. And we people, we think we can break out of this natural machine, this natural mechanism that's always happening at once. There's no decider in my skull somewhere that that cues me in to manipulate the world as if I could control it, and as if I am really separate from the world in the sense that I would have to manipulate it from the outside almost. Um, and you know, the way we experience time is really what frames our understanding of the natural world, because we think of it as falling apart or coming together. Like the material world is always falling apart. No energy is lost, but as far as complexity goes, it's expanding. The universe is expanding, and the gases are cooling down, and everything is winding down. But then in the biological world, everything is getting more and more complex. Everything is evolving. Um, and that doesn't seem to fit together. And then, of course, there's our actual experience of this world um, that I don't think falls into those categories of matter and life. Because matter seems just as alive as life to me, and matter seems to evolve just like life evolves. I mean, if you go back to the Big Bang, the first stuff of the universe was just pure light and energy. And then light expanded and cooled off and became atoms, hydrogen. And then hydrogen, you know, got sucked up gravitationally into these huge clouds that condensed at the center and sparked into a nuclear reaction to create a star, and then slowly rocks and gases form planets. And you know, it's amazing to think that all of that evolved. And then I mean, you know, we talk about the miracle of life. You know, how did life come out of matter? Well, how did light turn into matter? And then we can start learning about how matter became life, because really it's light that became life, ultimately, if you want to go back to the beginning. But yeah, I don't know why I really got into all this stuff. I was talking about time before. I guess I was trying to describe the way we actually experience the world, and then in contrast to the way we talk about the world and the way we are mentally programmed to experience the world. Because there's a difference, I think. And you probably already know this. You've taken mushrooms. It really breaks the filter down and shows you the world before you even get a chance to describe it and put it into these mental boxes. But yeah, thanks for listening. Tell me what you think.